Hello all, welcome back to another episode of Hoot GCC podcast series. We regularly discuss with various GCC leaders in understanding how the GCC operates and what GCC lies yet further. And today we have a special guest with us, Mr. Manjunatha. He's a site leader and GCC head for 3M, as well as he had fantastic career with Danaher and various other companies. He has an illustrious career, right, on leading AI and various cutting edge developments, right? He has developed multiple products. And beyond the work experience, he is very passionate about developing talent and he regularly mentors people, in his office as well as even outside office in universities and colleges, right? So today we are going to dive deep into his experience and expertise and understand how a GCC operates and how a product development happens inside the GCC, R&D. There are so many things. There are so many contours around it. I'm excited in having conversation with Manjunath, and I'm sure I'm going to learn a lot from him. I believe all of you are going to enjoy and learn along with me. So please welcome to our show, Mr. Manjunath. Happy to have you.
Thank you, Shankar. Thanks for inviting me. And it's really exciting to share my experiences and happy to participate in your future podcast as well.
Yeah. Pleasure is all mine, sir, and thanks a lot, for accepting it, in advance. I made a quick intro about you, but our audience would love to hear about you more, in your own words. Could you give a quick introduction about you?
Yeah, I think Manjunath is my full name, and friends and colleagues call me as Manju. Coming to qualification, a Bachelor of Engineering in Computer Science. So that's how then my education qualification. And post that, started in the IT industry as a programmer. So worked on various technologies and the platforms and worked in various the services and the product organizations and the captive units in my career and kept moving the industry ladders and certain great uh, experiences I got from especially from the GCC groups, the Tesco and the Danaher now is with 3M. That really made my career wow. I think that I learned a lot of things, right from know how to set up, how to scale, how to sustain, how to bring a continuous improvement. So, and again, coming to my passions, I think definitely being a techie, keep reading a lot of the technology articles and work with. I do have some group who are passionate technology people. We do discuss what's happening, how we can make the things scale or maybe what's happening to the product innovations because of the AI and other things. So keep reading and also love to share now to my experience and also mentoring few students. I think that's a quick intro about me.
Sure. I think you mentioned about 3M. I think 3M is a kind of household name, but would love to know a little more about 3M and especially from what a 3M GCC does in India, and what kind of role your team is playing.
Yeah. 3M, we are one of the innovative company in the material science world. And all our products are quite popular and is a household name, as you mentioned. And at India, in Bangalore, we have 3M Global Technology Center. It is a GCC center and predominantly focused on technology strategies. I think typical GCC setup. And we worked earlier with the ANSR, who are consulting partners for us and who helped in setting up the center in the build, operate, transfer model. So as of today, we are a team of around 430 plus and predominantly focused on uh, information technology and as well as the finance center of excellence activities.
Okay. Got it. So a typical picture of GCC in any conference you go is like, GCC started as a cost center. Now we moved into R&D, all jargons, right? With all due respect, would love to understand, right, as a GCC head, right, how a R&D happens inside a large organization, right, and how a new product development happens inside a large organization. So would love to hear from you, Mr. Manjunath.
I think no, initially when you set up, right, anything, you cannot expect the magic or the new the products coming up from the center. It takes time because any teams throughout the world, right, they go through always the different phases, right, from storming and norming until the time to performing, right. So these are this standard the phases any organization and the teams will go through. So it's all about the creating an ecosystem when it comes to innovation. I think being a GCC center, I think we should create an ecosystem where there is an opportunity exist for the people or the teams to think through what next we can do in the upcoming, the tech or maybe the tools. And greater collaboration with the parental companies must. See, what most of the GCCs they forget is that no, the team is formed in India and everything is we. That is true, but no, we should not forget that we include the parent organization. We should always get a buy-in if you want to be effective, right? If you want to have a buy-in from the parental organization, because that's where your success lies. Because you are still new to their business. They know how to run the business for many years. So the collaboration innovation is really required, to make any kind of a product from the GCCs. Whether you call it as a new product development or maybe any niche technology, new product or the features coming up. But my only request or maybe my thought process, I believe strongly is the collaborative innovation, collaborative, especially with the parental organization, because they are our the experts. If you ask me, they know how to run the business. Right. Again, the empowerment by default will come. Right. We will not ask for an empowerment. Empowerment should be earned. The moment one innovation or maybe one of your delivery become a success story, then you're going to earn the trust factor. So my only the request is and start looking in how we can make a collaborative innovations. I think then definitely there's going to be a success story. Otherwise, what happens most of the time we start something, we go here and again it requires a budget, it requires a people support, it requires expert support. So without strategy, if you go ahead, then we will get stuck. So please work with your parental organization and push for collaborative innovations.
Sure. But I think, this question is not specific to, your current organization or, your past organization, but overall, you have an inside view of various other GCs how they're performing. But could you tell some interesting cutting edge development happen in the GCCs, right? Which we can really say proud of, other than the cloud transformations and the run of the mill, regular work, Manjunatha G.
I think maybe one thing which I would like to share. I think this is definitely required for any the companies who wants to build or maybe scale the GCCs. It is to have right the domain experts or the business experts or the product owners or product managers, whatever you call. These domain experts play a very key role. Otherwise, what happens is most of the times your team will be waiting for their review or the feedback in the evening time. And if you have one query, you have to wait again 24 hours, which is a lot of the delay. So build a strategy around that. Maybe when you form a GCC or maybe you want to scale up a GCC, identify your key the domain experts need and build the teams around that and hire a leader for that. I think that way what happens is you can scale up in terms of the innovations with these domain experts. So I would like to strongly recommend to have this as maybe first five hire or first 10 hire you do, then one of the person should be domain expert.
Got it. Got it. So, but for example, you worked in the life sciences healthcare vertically earlier, right? In some instances where you may not have domain expert right away available, right? In some places because India may not have that expertise, right? In those kind of circumstances, how do you develop those skills internally?
I think, see, you now I think I'm talking about current market. Okay, let's not talk about history. Current market, you name it, you have it. I think that is the story of India. I think earlier I was also in assumption of some skills are not available, but that is wrong. It is all about how we explore. You take any technology, you take any domain, you take any expertise, the talent is available in India. So I think I'm very much happy to talk if any technology or maybe the talent is not available. I think you name it, you have it. I think, but again, that is the existence. But again, coming to the development, right? I think definitely yes, that is basically helps us to know how we can bring a continuous improvement elevators. Um, See, usually we have a kind of the pair. I think I worked in the setup where we have a concept of uh, the basically the pair, right? The global and as well as uh, the local, the experts. They'll become the pair. I think we call it as the twins, right? So form a kind of the people twins. So let's take an example. You got one of the cybersecurity expert was very much you know, who is very much experienced and knowledgeable on their current products, who resides in the parent organization. Being a GCC center here, work in the approach of the twin. So they should regularly connect and they should regularly report out their progress. So that way, what happen is the expert is building a equivalent twin here. So that way, I think that really helpful. I think start building these twins, and again these twins will act as a champions, and internally again you can cascade that the knowledge or the technology to other people.
Sure. I think in your previous organization, that now become a playbook for various GCCs in terms of using college interns to create that, the tech needs, right, or the talent needs. So could you explain a little more about how you started doing that, in the college freshers or the interns, and then flows into the whole tech talent?
Yeah, I do recommend use the two options are there. One is you go to the campus, college campus, and hire, or maybe partner with consulting partners. Maybe there are a lot of companies who are very good at that, in my experience. So there are two options where you can do that. Um, I think if your need is very small number, maybe say 10, 20, or 30, I think it is better you uh, take a primary role and try to visit the colleges. And again, the colleges definitely welcome any the companies get their the time and the schedule and agreement, and put good the leadership around that, basically execution leadership, the internship program execution, and it is possible. But if it's a case of 10, 20, 30 numbers, right, in minus that is max, beyond that you should not be able to, will not be able to handle it. So if they were thinking of hiring more numbers, definitely partner with there are so many the companies who are very good at that, right? Because they hire at scale. You take many Indian the service companies, and there are so many consulting partners are also available. Partner with them, then put your the requirement very clear, and also mention that the branding should be yours, right? The branding should be yours. Then definitely the partner companies will help you in hiring. And this is must if you, and we should make it as a regular playbook of putting X number of interns to your talent pipeline to the company. That way, what happens, you will also be able to manage your pyramid story in terms of the finance and your retention story. The two things is going to be addressed, because the Bangalore is very dynamic in nature. Retention is going to be a bigger challenge, and if you hire a good interns, I think that way you'll be able to manage it. And your today's interns are going to become future staff of your company. So I think we should invest time and put a clear structure around that.
Sure, sir. Could you give a live example of how you have done it in your past experience? I think when we shared offline, you mentioned about the Danaher, right? Would be happy if you could share it to our audience also.
Yeah, I think both approaches. One is I think we use both the approaches. One is we have some the colleges where we have partnered, and we used to get the schedules agreement with the college placement coordinator, and we do visit as a team, and we used to hire. Earlier we used to do in person, but later it's changed to the virtual because of various reasons. And again, you used the partners also. I think we use both the options. But again, no, uh, how to select is also very much important. It's again, no, what we do is most of the times, it's again, I learned by participating in so many intern programs. I think we should look for critical thinking and good communication skills as a criteria, rather than Java, .NET, cloud. Right. I think if you get a good problem solver and critical thinking student, I think you can groom for whatever the technology tools or the framework you wanted. I think that should be the focus, because I do see still people go and visit and they say, yeah, he's not good at Java. I think that's okay, but no, look at that. What I got nowadays, I have seen the students are coming with a lot of lead code and other hacker kind of experience. So you will get a very good the coders and as well as good thinkers and the problem solvers. I think we use both. I think that is what no. But again, look at your number. Based on that, you please proceed.
Sure, Manjunatha Ji. But one of the challenge, when especially with respect to hiring the freshers, is like the time it takes to billing, or probably that is in the IT services side, but your time it takes to put in the real production, right? As a GCC, you don't have the concept of, extensive training like IT services, or or keeping it in the bench. So how do you see that? Do you want the people to come and contribute from day one? Or do we have the bandwidth and the training facilities, like, identifying the raw diamond and then polish and put them in use after, say, 3 months or 4 months, whatever the time it takes?
I think day one, even if you expert also, it is not possible because they're still kids. Students, they know they're very good, great curiosity, great talent. They should be groomed. Again, now we have a concept called the project orientation. The program as part of once we onboarded the interns, we have a concept of project orientation. As part of the project orientations, I think all the must require the skills will be listed, and as per that intern will be coached both from internal as well as external the companies, um, especially for the setup kind of what we have it. I think because we are not hiring the mass, right? We don't want 50 Java developers, right, or 100 SAP developer. We don't want that. So what we want is, I think we have a clear the list of projects and the skills already listed. And as part of each project, or maybe the portfolio orientation, we'll put a clear plan. And as you said, definitely we take the support of external vendors in especially hiring and coaching, because we don't have a large LMS team sitting here who will help and coach and mentor them. But the managers play a very key role in especially the coaching and mentoring as part of the project orientation, because the moment an intern onboarded, he or she will be reporting into ex manager in an organization. The manager is accountable to coach and mentor as per the project needs to these students. So as part of that and as part of the project orientation, there will be a list of skills and the platform technology, whatever it is, it will be listed, and accordingly we'll plan the trainings. But again, it is incremental. It is not that we do everything in a month one and again we'll do start month two. It is not. It's the plan. Its orientation plan is really important. I think we need to focus there. How to well structure. Right? Maybe simple example, right? You want something to do some kind of work on the cloud, maybe cost leveraging or cutting the cost, right? And Azure or something. So put a clear plan, right? Because simple example, if you take what kind of skills are required for the student before they're going to know solving a problem set of the cost. They should know services, they should know privileges, they should know what kind of services, how to use, right? So everything should go in clear structured plan. And wherever it is required, external, I think we do tie up with couple of the training companies. I think they do it. I think we have few companies. You just give them the training topics, and they'll come back with their experts, and they will help our team in coaching. So I request strongly use a good orientation plan as part of your interns program execution. That way, your interns will become real professionals.
Got it, Manjunatha Ji. So moving on to the enterprise tech adoption, we see that in multiple large MNCs, the tech adoption is a challenge, right? Could you give examples of wherever you have seen a new tech is coming, but there's a problem in tech adoption and why it happens so? And as a GCC, how do you overcome this?
I think this is a classic, the problem in any GCs, right? And it is going to be there and now also and in the future also. So the only solution what I found was, I think, understand your parent, the organization strategies. See, if you take a simple example, some not all organizations are same, right? So there are organizations that are very big because of various, legacy systems and various, the old platforms and also different business challenges. They have a totally different setup, right? It is not that you go and put, everything on AI, taking an AI as an example, because world is changed by AI. And, what happens to those systems, right? I think the key is again, the make sure that you build, it should be strategic. Your center, the technology roadmap should be strategic. And as part of that strategic, I think you need to get an alignment from your global the technology leadership to make sure that you put a plan for the innovations as well. Maybe the tech adoption innovations. Maybe simple example I would like to say, I think any of our releases, right? We go 20% of the effort for the technical depth and the innovations. So it is not that you innovate the project with specific timeline. I think we do our thought process should be innovate 365 days. So how is that possible is put a specific, maybe if you are taking agile software as a development, put X number of story points as the standard for each release. Take these story points should be burnt on either on technical depth and as well as the new innovation or new technology adoptions. Right? That way, what happens is it will become a day-to-day job rather than now one different project. I have seen it has happened and it is working because simple example I would like to give usually, right? The new code, any source code, maybe I would take an example of software, the firmware as an example. The latest code, right? It should be upgraded because that's the standard, right? Otherwise, your code will become obsolete and you will be helpless in the future, right? That will become a legacy system or maybe non-maintainable system. So simple example is, I think, make the modernization of the code as an example, right? Make it as a part of your sprint story, right? Or maybe a release story. Give this 20%. Hey, take X version to take X plus one or X plus two. Take these features or these services this time, right? This sprint, and go to the next set of the services in the upcoming sprint. So that's how thought process should be. That way, what happens is your tech adoption will become incremental, and you'll also be collaborating with your global teams. Then it is easy to take, right? So I think that thought process, I think especially I do recommend to have it's a must. 20% of your effort should go here. I think that's how you should convince your global leadership the success, what kind of success we're going to achieve if you do that. I think initially it may take a little bit of difficulties, but over a period of time, no, you just make one sprint or one release as a case study. Say that this is what we did in this sprint with 20% with 5 people. Then the 5 people will become 50 people. Okay, let's put this. Then that will become a continuous progress. I think we should make it a now everyday job. Your tech adoption should be everyday job.
Got it. Got it. So you mentioned multiple times about having clear understanding with the HQ, right, on whatever you do. So how do you do when you are, for example, any GCC might have started with something on the say back end accounting process or admin or HR. Now you are going to convince them for cutting edge, say AI, right, or a new product development, or even say R&D, right? How do you convince the HQ saying that, hey, believe and give me that kind of work, Manjunatha G?
I think in my experience, right, anything is innovative, it makes sense. I have not seen anybody said no in my experience. So it is the simple answer is, I think, make sure that you go with the right problem statement, what exactly you're going to solve. Okay, everybody is working on a AI, so yes, let's build a AI teams. Yes, that is a high level strategy, but you cannot turn off by your global leadership agreement if you say just I'll build a AI teams. You should be very specific. I'm going to build a AI teams for this problem statement. I'm going to build Gen AI experts for this features development. And and also put a very detailed cost story around that. What is, if you do that, what is going to be your operational cost and how it is going to impact, your revenue. you should put a clear return on investment story around that. I think as long as you are clear, I think with the number game, with the kind of investment and also the kind of returns, I think definitely you're going to get a yes only. In my experience, I have seen it, and very rarely, maybe it is just priority change, but they never said no as long as it is making sense. So here the challenge is we should see this is an example, right? AI is changing the world, and you want to build a AI team. A simple example is come up with a very good problem statement or the use cases, what you want to solve as part of these AI teams, the strategy, and also build a good collaborative the relationship with the global AI teams. Talk to them, hey, this is what we want to do. This is what we want to extend, your team, the capabilities by having here extended teams here, right? So have it and put a clear problem statement what you're going to hear that. When you put a clear problem statement, you should get a buy-in from your global product management team, right? And also your global leadership saying that, okay, maybe start with one proof of concept. Don't try to know the boil the ocean. Just start with the one proof of concept, saying that no, okay, how can I improve the leads as a simple example, right? Which I worked in one of my past. How to improve X% of the leads. We started with a goal of 10%, but it has become a 20% the result, then that has become a success story. Then that same solution, GenAI solution, is expanded to the globe. So that's how it happens, right? The simple example, right? What I told. So keep the very clear the communication strategy to your headquarters, right? I have not seen anybody but if you just go, I'll build a AI team, then there will 100 questions will come. Go with a clear strategy, what you do, and be very clear what you do month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5, month 6, right? Nowadays, what I read was very interesting article, Q1, Q2, Q3 gone. I think everybody started talking in months because of the AI. So tell very clearly, exactly what you do in the months. Then I think definitely you're going to get a buy-in.
Nice, sir. But you just given one example of lead, but could you take one more example and go little deeper into it, like, how you approach it, what was the problem at hand, and how did you put together a plan? How did you convince them, and how did you start like a seed program, and then so that the people will get an idea of, how can I execute it, right? But
Yeah,
otherwise, they may get lost in a larger problem like this.
true. I think maybe I would like to take a simple problem. The first problem statement, what we worked on the GenAI based in one of my experience. So the first thing what we did was, see, if you look at a typical GCC, as of today, we don't have AI roles, right? So I think that was the first problem for us also. We don't have AI roles. We don't have the AI experts. What we have is only the full stack developers, platform developers, cloud developers, mainframe developers, whatever you call, right? So that's the kind of setup the group we have it. So the first what we did was, I think, we do have, our architects team, local architects team, solution architecture teams. I was able to identify some of the champions, proactive champions who are willing to do, right? So there again, they have their day-to-day work, and they already allocated the respective project and features. But I took just help of 2-3 people to just identify the problem statement, what problems we can solve it. I think that I took a help from the existing people. Then we partnered with some of the consulting company who are very much expertise in the GenAI space. So they helped us. To be honest, they helped us. They put a 12 weeks program. In the 12 weeks problem, they helped in understanding the problem statement, right, and also putting thought process around that, how this problem can be solved, and what kind of the effort is required. So we are able to come up with that clear the plan in collaboration with the technology partner. So that's what it has helped me in putting that plan and present to my global leadership. And once I got again, couple of reviews were there, a couple of questions. And again, we got a great support from the product management team as well. They said that why not, let's try it. The moment that word comes, then I got a approval for our the technology partner support as part of build, operate, transfer, and as well as we're able to create the first few roles. So what we did was, instead of we put our job, the positions also outside. If any expert, because as you know, it's all evolving. most of the people who go to Gen AI or AI spaces are typically from the full stack world, right? So we are able to identify some of the people from internally who are passionate and able to understand. And we formed a group, and one or two people who had, I think the first team we formed was around 8 to 10 people. I think that was the team who worked on this problem statement for 6 months. Basically, the first 4 months is all completed. Then again, no internal review and other thing. Then the first 6 months that has become a success story. It started as a proof of concept, but as the impact is very big, then the headquarter decided to let's roll it out to different other business units. So that's how it went to Asia Pacific. It went to US and other countries. And again, no, it is possible only certain things you need to buy from the shelf. I think that is what we did. We taken the help of the technology partners who are very much expert. Because most of the consulting companies, they do have that experts, and their everyday it's a standard practice that they become a niche in that new tech. So partner with them if you want to get, again, start small, because if you start small, then you'll always be able to figure it out what's going well and how we can improve it. Does it answer your question?
Yes, yes, absolutely, absolutely. So no, you clearly answered it. But one of the challenges which I see, which actually we also discussed just before the starting of the podcast, is like there are many GCC leaders are hesitant in taking certain AI work because they believe that it may underwhelm their workforce, right? I think they say that hey, we have managing 7,000 people, 8,000 people, and there are certain new agentic AI can reduce the number of people, right? So you shared your thoughts, but would like to see that whether our audience also can learn from you.
I think we should never stop innovation, to be honest. Whatever may be the reasons, right? I think we should flow with the innovation. Where the world is moving, we should move towards that. See, headcount is not a success story for a GCC. Whether you have 10, you have 1,000, you have 10,000, that doesn't matter, right? So what is most important is how the business or GCCs are contributing to the headquarter, the business, the growth in terms of revenue or sustainability, whatever the key parameters you take. See, adoption of AA, if you ask me, is a must. Again, everybody is watching what is going to happen to the people in the future. That's all in wait and watch mode. Different experts are now have their own different uh, opinions. But what I look at is, in just my view, is I think start embracing the technology, because if you're not embracing today, one or the other day, you will be forced to do that, right? Just because of the people game. If the GCC leaders are not able to, are not willing to uh, embrace the technology, I think that is going to give a bigger impact to them, because there will be a day they'll be forced. So let's not do that. Again, anything comes, please do embrace, work with your headquarter, tell them, no, it should be just like how we do any kind of a project. It should be as simple as that. Typically project, what happens, right? You'll get a requirement, we'll challenge the requirement, we'll understand the requirement, we'll break down the requirement to multiple tasks, we'll prioritize and execute. Even this new tech adoption also should be the same. Let's say AI, Gen AI, or ML, whatever you call. I think, okay, what problem are we going to solve this? Okay, who are required, right? And how it is going to benefit. Put a clear strategy around that, form a team around, and go back with your costing and also your return on investment story. Then definitely, it is going to help. Uh, Please don't think of stopping the innovation, because it is not going to help anybody.
Got it. Got it. So, no, you have worked with 3M as well as in the past, right? Beyond AI or data analytics or cloud transformation, could you tell some other what is a product development which is very specific to the industry or something which has happened from here, right? I think because the Gen AI and data analytics, which is actually it's kind of a common divider between all the GCCs, but specific to your industry, is there anything which is commendable? You can give some examples, Manjunatha Ji.
Yeah, I think definitely one is with respect to instrument upgrading the Okay, so maybe I would like to get simple. One of the problem, the project is all about no environmental solution. It's basically the environment solution, basically on the water quality side. So if you want to know the water quality inside the river or the lakes, right, you need to insert a sensor, and the sensor data will be collected on the cloud, and you can do the visualization, or maybe you can submit for a complaints. So that is a project I would like taken as example. So I think the one of the proactive initiative what our team picked was, I think, as you know, instruments is all environmental instrument will be placed in the very rough and weather conditions. It requires a continuous monitoring and as well as continuous improvement in terms of technology, and as well as um, how we can manage them, right? One is developing and as well as manage. So one of the project which I would like take on the same similar the platform, we have picked it up now how to upgrade to the new sensors, and also how to put a totally the 5G enabled instruments on the these are like really niche as per the market, and it's going to create a wow factor to the customers. I think that is the one project which I worked on. I think the challenges were really, we faced a lot of difficulties because of the the one is with the skill set, getting right skill set on the firmware, and especially on the business domain, it was a little difficult for us. And if you take any instrument, already they have well established integration setup. So building integrations around that new instrument, the new technology, new sensors, that's like great learning, but we are able to do it. So what a lesson learned I was from that, I would like to say is, I think so spend a good amount of time with the business. I think that is what I recommend. Basically, we call it as the Gamba go to place, happening place. Please do visit, take your experts, show them what happens, because that kill a lot of assumptions and the perceptions. If you visit the plants, maybe where the are the lakes or the rivers where this instrument will be placed, how it works, what happens. Go in person and see with your and experience by touching the feel of that, right? That way you will get a lot of things, because we did a lot of mistakes with a lot of perceptions and assumptions when we developed, but or that is a kind of a great learning for us. Then the moment we went and saw the instrument, how it performs in the plant, it was totally different. So I think I do recommend that. Please do that in person, the visits, if you're developing any kind of uh, instrument intensive products. So that is one example which I would like to quote. It's a great learning, but we are able to do it.
Oh, super. I think it's really really encouraging seeing that our GCs are doing cutting edge, beyond the run of the mill AI, ML and stuff. Anything from the healthcare side, because you have a long working experience with the healthcare. Just trying to understand anything which we can learn.
I think maybe a lot of features for the pharma industries. I think we have delivered through our instrumentation software. So we do have. I worked on a software which is into molecular diagnosis. Uh, so it requires usually anything with respect to healthcare and the pharma, it is totally regulated. And doing any changes in the software, it has to go through a lot of approvals because of the regulatory environment. So I think that is the learning for our team, and we also formed our QARA teams during that time. How can know what kind of quality assurance test we have to do, and what kind of features are possible. And we supported a lot of the new features for the pharma industries, and there are different workflows. Usually, the pharma industry, then the drug manufacturing, they use these instruments. So a lot of use cases we worked on, maybe the new features we supported these pharma industries. Yes, but again, no, anything can be done always. But again, putting in a structured approach is always the key. So always any problem statement, the moment you accept, uh, please see that how we can now chunk into multiple the problem statements and multiple tasks and prioritize list. I think typically this is what product management team does. I think that is the same thought process, even though technology people should also have it, right? then only we'll be able to deliver.
Great, sir. Great. When it comes to the GCCs, especially the talent, right? I think the top tier cities really have abundant with a lot of talent, but it also has a lot of competition and attrition to other things. So how do you look into scaling into the tier two cities as an option to grow your talent, right? How do you approach it?
I think in my understanding, yes, I think definitely we should look at tier two. But again, no, you should be very clear which are the cities. Because if you look at, no, again, it is based on my understanding or the kind of survey data what I read. Different cities comes with a different expertise. This is what I know. Anything to do with A&ML, Bangalore is the place, or Hyderabad is the place. This is what I'm keep hearing. Anything come with the finance, then they're telling is Mumbai and Pune are the best places. This is what the different statistics of the data says. But definitely start looking for the tier two, because this really helps you in scaling. One is it will definitely solve your the financial story, or maybe it will reduce the financial burden, and also your retention is going to be increased, because this is what data speaks, right? In the tier two or maybe tier three cities, retention rate is very low. People are comfortable working from their own cities or nearby cities, and they not move every 18 months or 2 years or every year. They want a stable job, stable income. They're very much content. I think definitely we should start looking at the tier two. And I see government is also giving a lot of uh, support, and they have come up with a lot of initiatives across India. I know in Karnataka, Mysore and Hubli, Dharwad has been designated place in my last one of my the conference where I attended. So why not? I think definitely we should start looking, because if you want to scale up, I think yes, that is also one of the option. But if you ask me, I think it is going to be the best option. And also you can even put a strategy around that. If you have a transactional roles, you can always think of a tier two for the transaction roles. Anything to do with innovation, then you can keep it in Bangalore or Hyderabad.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Sure. I think you're mentioning about the talent is not the problem anymore, right? I think you should have that. You should be able to convince. So, what is stopping GCC in expanding, right? And if they want to say that, hey, we would like to do everything from here for the headquarters, so what is a major bottleneck? If not, I'm not saying bottleneck, but what a GCC leader need to have to go and get more work and execute, whether it is in India or even anywhere, right? I think how do you expect a GCC leader, next level GCC leader to be like?
One word answer again. I would like to reiterate. Without the collaborative innovation and collaboration with the headquarter, you cannot do that. So start thinking towards that. See, there are different strategies, right? Sometimes some of the headquarters will be come up with a lot of process uh, as a issue, right? Because of various process, the practice what they have it. Or your headquarter might be very lean, and they might be very dynamic, and they are like game changers. So you have to understand what kind of organization or maybe the kind of headquarter or maybe the parent organization is. Everybody wants to innovate. This is what my understanding. Everyone wants to grow. So you have to strategize in such a way. I think if speed is a required for your the as part of a strategy, then adopt speed. And sometimes there is an opportunity for you to know you should put a simple inertia to bring the speed. So I think that is the time you have to bring your inertia story, right? Sometimes you should be moderate, constant. I think no, it is all like there is no single thumb rule if you ask me. I think my only thumb rule is how we can collaborate well with them, right? Talk to the leadership, be very vocal, be very candid, express your challenges, and also highlight the benefits of doing that, and make it we have a regular topic, right? Hey, this is what I want to do, and this is how it will benefit. Keep talking in the topic again and again in a regular meet, right? I think everybody will start putting a thought process. So I don't want to know. Definitely for me, I think, and in my view, again, I'm just telling is my view. I think if you don't have right collaboration with your parent organization, it's very difficult to execute.
Sure. No, point well taken. No, but when it comes to the GCC, I would say autonomy or the decision making ability for the GCC leader, it's well earned, right? I think not only with you and many GCC leaders really echoed that, right? But where do you see that you've been working in this GCC ecosystem for a long time, with respect to making decisions on your own working areas, right? Whether it is procuring a new software or in various other things, how do you say, for example, say taking an example of, say, your team is managing accounting processing or something, right? Majority of the team is here, 90% of the team. Now you feel like, here this is a new software or this is a new AI agent which can reduce that. So how much of autonomy you have in terms of getting that, onboarding that tool and saving for the whole company?
Yeah, I think that empowerment is there again, in my experience to me. So how we put, see, usually the companies where I work, they have the strategies, and the strategies usually will be planned for 18 months. And every year we're going to review that. Where are we? So I think being a GCC leader, we should make sure that we should bring this kind of, the initiatives in the strategic decisions or maybe strategic meetings. I think that is where the decision will happen, right? Because if you're not strategic, then I think, it is not that the example what you've taken, a new software came which will improve, bring a wow factor to your accounting process. It is not that you just, start onboarding. It will not happen, right? You have to take up that the initiative, or maybe the particular new piece of work, what you want to do and execute, and the strategic meetings. I do see most of the GCC leaders are part of strategic meetings, because there will be a question saying, what do you want for your center? Everybody asks, right? Right from the product management to CTO group to CEO group. So I think that is the time to pitch in what exactly you want to do and how it is going to benefit. And I think now take it from there.
Got it. Got it. So it's go get the buy-in at the strategic meet, sell it internally, clearly articulate what is the value it is going to come, and then I started doing the work rather than the other way around, right?
Correct. And also the timing is very much important, right? See, anybody can do anything, right? Even that's how the world works. But when to do, where to do, and how to do is very much important, right? It should be strategic. As long as strategic and the leadership buy in, right? See, usually leaders will meet for strategic decisions. I think that is the time. I think we should be, very smart. Hey, there is an upcoming strategic meeting is going to be there for next year, right? Or the next 18 months. I think that is the time you should prepare your data. Put a clear data around that and go back and present in those strategic meetings. I think then what happens, that will become, your technology roadmap. Hey, in India, for this GCC upgrade the new software, that one of the action item can come as part of your 12 months, next 12 months. So think through the right timing. I think timing is really important, because most of the organization I have seen that they want to execute things in a structured way, except few startups, right? But when it goes structured way, I think strategic is the thought process.
Sure, sure. I think you earlier mentioned about collaborating with the ecosystem, right? Primarily from the service provider or the training companies, right? You mentioned a few
Yeah.
times. But I would like to understand a different aspect, right? So when a GCC comes to India, right, and they come with a certain objective, hey, we want to achieve these things. So now you can achieve through two ways. One is your own people, but you can also work with the ecosystem. Means, for example, you want to achieve certain things, but there are other products who have already did certain work there. So do you see an opportunity to collaborate with these product companies and other things to fasten the reaching the objective? How do you see that, Manjuji?
Yeah, I look at this way. See, always, there will be multiple solutions for a problem, right? See, I would like to solve a problem. Anything to know, the first thing is, if any G, so I want to make sure that my headquarter is very much happy with the center. I think that is my first goal. So that can be done only with great deliverables, with on-time deliverables, with a great quality, with a very good the stakeholder management. I think that is my problem. I want to solve it. Definitely, yes. I think I'm happy to collaborate, because I know, because of legacy systems, there are so many headquarters have the parent companies, they have legacy systems, and I do see a lot of opportunities to change or maybe bring an improvement. I'm very much happy to do that. I also recommend to the GCC leaders to start thinking in that. There is nothing wrong in collaborating with the local the consulting partner. I think training is one example which no, I quoted that that's the best way to do. And similarly for the projects. Again, one of the example I quoted was Jena use case. I think where we partnered with the consulting partners who helped us in 12 weeks. They made sure that now my team is ready to deliver the solution. I think I do encourage and I do support, and also I talk about with my global leadership. Anything of collaboration comes. No hesitation there. Very candid conversation. This is what it is. This is how it benefits.
So do you work with startups, startup products, which is in the manufacturing or anything in the area on your radar?
No, I think as of now, no. In the past, there is one thing with respect to sensors, we did it. But again, that is again in terms of global tie-up. I think global team is already tied up with one of the Coimbatore-based company. It's an Indian-based company. They asked me to start collaborating locally here, and it's a purely sensor-based work, and we're able to get that in terms of collaboration. I think yes, but again, no. I'm not saying that no, it is not, as long as it is serving for our business needs, whether it's a startup or it's a big company, small company, or it's a billion-dollar company, it doesn't matter. As long as my problem statement met and whatever the acceptance criteria we agreed, it should be solved with agreed the cost and the timeline, then I'm perfectly fine.
Sure. Sir, but I think a company coming like homegrown company which is solving your needs, but how difficult a company to go through the procurement process and other things, because being a global company, it will have its own processes as well as stuff. So how the GCC can overcome that problem, because you are working with one vendor, right? I think for that purpose, can it be fastened?
See, these are all like the anything with respect to the contracts, right, or maybe anything with the vendor. It always comes with the compliance as one of the important factor. So I think we should embrace the standard work around that. I think you take any companies, they already have a standard enrollment process for as part of their vendor onboarding. Sometimes it takes time, sometimes it comes up with a lot of questions. Yes, I think that is what the process. We should embrace that, because there is a compliance around that, right? If you take a simple example, our auditors will not only audit the tools and the software, they also audit the vendor tools and the software what they use, because that is the standard in terms of compliance, right? So I think there definitely we need to wait and also go with the process. No, there is I have not seen that anywhere that there is no process, or maybe nobody will say yes or no, right? Without looking at it. Go with what exactly is the need, put them through the process, and let the process completes, right? Keep supporting with the relevant documentation wherever it is, and if it is as per the organization standard, then definitely that company will go through as part of the procurement story. If they are not, I think definitely it is not, because that is what it is. That the framework is designed for that. There is a set of people, there are a set of teams who make sure that it goes as per that, the right compliance. So we should respect that. And my only request is please go through the process of the parent company.
Sure, sir. Sure. I think we almost touched or even kind of overshoot our time. Probably last couple of questions. I think you are, as a leader, you will have multiple priorities, right? So, means personal, professional. How do you manage? Do you have any mantra, or do you have any specific way you are handle all these responsibilities?
I think to be honest, for me, I think the priorities always can be managed, and each person have their own definition of work-life balance or whatever it is. But for me, what is the most important thing is, I think the people, right? The people in my company, in my GCC, and also the people from the parent company. And I always make sure that I build a very good relationship with my global and as well as the local teams. It's a trustworthy relationship, right? If you say it is done, it should be done. Or I will get it done means I'll get it done. Or you do it means they'll do it for you, right? I think that is a kind of uh, the ecosystem or the relationship professional environment, which I strongly believe in. And this trust, what it creates, wonders, right? We need not to do anything beyond that. And coming to the priorities, yes, I think, being, the leader, I think that is one of the, the important, the core skill I would like to say. It is basically, if you ask me in a simple terminology, the right thing to do in the right time. That is what the priority is all about. So start thinking what is the right time and also right thing to do, which will benefit the business. I think then definitely it happens. You'll be able to find a solution for it.
Got it, sir. Got it. The time flies. I think I didn't even realize that we kind of reached our time. And thanks a million for sharing your insights. It was superb and it was so valuable. And we'd like to have more sessions, very specific stuff in future with you.
Thank you, Shankar. Thanks for the opportunity you provided, and definitely yes, looking forward to build the collaboration to the next level.
Oh, great, sir. Great. So thanks a lot. Thanks.